Welcome back, nerdy movie fans. As I was starting to close this saga from Friday the 13th. So, the recent one I saw is Jason X Evil Gets an Upgrade. So, here's the Scream Factory copy. I really like the cover. I know there is a 4K cover for this because there's a 4K released by Arrow Video. And so, I just don't have that copy. This came in the set that comes with all of them. So, this is the set I got, and really happy with it. So for this one, I actually thought it was pretty interesting because I know there's sort of this trope where when horror franchises take their characters to space, it's kind of just assumed it all goes downhill from there. But I actually found this one pretty fun. So as you can see, this upgrade design was toward the end of the movie as I expected, but it was a neat design and everything about this was just kind of fun. So the one thing I did notice is I had to look it up, and you guys can sound off in the comments if I'm wrong on this, but I watched Jason Goes to Hell last. And so as Jason goes to hell in the end of the movie with the Freddy Krueger tease, I assumed that Freddy vs. Jason would be next, but I read, excuse me, I read that theatrically, Jason X was the next one, but canonically, it's Freddy vs. Jason. So I decided to watch these in theatrical order just because. So I mention that because in Jason Goes to Hell, we see him gone, and then beginning of this one, he's back, but he's prisoner. So it's sort of it takes a second to sort of grasp what's going on, but they do explain it in the opening. It takes a minute. So pretty much, the government has Jason Voorhees, where they're trying to use him as this sort of science project where, hey, he keeps regenerating, so let's use that. And so obviously things go wrong, he gets frozen, and so does another character gets frozen with him, and they get picked up quite a while in the future, where they're now in space. Obviously they're in this big spaceship where Jason Voorhees has now been unfrozen accidentally, and he's starting to kill people and does what Jason always does. He gets a little stabby and he just goes off the rails. So it was fun because for the spaceship setting, there's these jokes about, you know, some of the characters have never heard of a bike before. So it's just stuff like that that just kind of made it fun. So I enjoyed the action with this one. There is some ridiculousness to it because of the space theme. And it just has the common trope where you have segments where multiple characters are shooting at him repeatedly for long periods of time and he's still not going down. So you have so many similar tropes with this one, with Friday the 13th franchise as a general that in general that keep happening movie after movie. But I think as a Friday the 13th fan, which I can say I am a fan of the franchise after seeing, I would say, enough of them now at this point, that I enjoy those tropes. I enjoy seeing similarities between this film and that film, and seeing some repetitive concepts starts to feel more like a theme than a repetitive concept. And so that's what I found interesting with this one. We have a segment in the end where they have this sort of holographic technology where they can change the surroundings, and it makes him think he's back at Camp Crystal Lake, not in the future anymore. And they give him a couple of victims to kill, and it's almost comedic in a way, but at the same time it's sort of a nod to where it all started. So I had a blast with this one. I thought it was fun. This one, I would say I enjoyed this probably more than a majority of the sequels after 3. So I only have Freddy vs. Jason left. That is the last one I have not seen. I've seen the remake, but I saw it a while back, so I'm going to rewatch it and then do a franchise review for all of them. So I'm so excited because this has definitely been a franchise I've enjoyed watching. I definitely enjoy Halloween as well, but with this one, I feel like Friday the 13th, you just have certain expectations, and those expectations are usually met. It's either the same tropes or it's the repetitive concept you learn to love and enjoy. So you always, I feel like for majority, you get what you expect out of Friday the 13th. So I'm not going to be the guy to compare the franchises. All I know is I really enjoy this franchise right now, and it's definitely one of my favorites when it comes to horror. And I'm so excited to see the rest of this franchise and to have said I've seen them all is, I think, a really cool feat as a completionist, especially as a collector. To have all the movies, to see them all, I think would be really neat. And so I'm just excited to finish out the series. That is my review for Jason X. This was fun. If you're a fan of this movie, I would definitely recommend trying to get your hands on a copy, or at least maybe search for that 4K Arrow Video copy. I know I'm going to. I know that's one I want to have in my collection. So thanks for watching. Keep it digging. Till next time.